Hey guys, Tyler from Righteous Gaming here. Thanks for taking the time to watch the video. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Our goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers so that we can hit that next tier in YouTube channels. Today, I'm going to be talking about the current state of the Flesh and Blood market. And boy, is it hot. Flesh and Blood is hotter than I've seen it in a long time, ever since probably Crucible War Monarch days. There are lots of new players joining the game. There are lots of older players returning to the game, and there are a lot of current players that are just building additional decks. So let's take a look at the market and let's see what is causing this insane demand in Flesh and Blood right now. Well, first, there are a lot of new players getting into the game right now. There are a lot of players from other games that are jumping in. There are a lot of players that haven't played TCGs jumping in. I've seen this personally. I've been vending multiple callings over the past couple months, and every calling that I go to, no matter if it's in Europe or the US or even in New Zealand, there are a lot of players that are jumping into the game and building their first decks. And that's one of the reasons why singles prices are going up right now. Secondly, there's a lot of older players that are coming back into the game. I know for my locals, there are a lot of players that were kind of pushed out of the scene due to the old way of armory pricing, where they would just give out the cold foils, the best cards each month, to the top placed players. However, now with the change in gym packs, armory events are becoming more popular, and I'm hearing reports from all over the US that these events are higher than ever, that people's events and armory events in local stores have doubled, have increased dramatically due to the new way that LSS is pricing these events, and that's a great thing. And there's lots of collectors getting into the game right now. I know from the collectors that I talk to that they're even starting to collect new cards. Now this was a big step for them because historically collectors have liked to collect the older things, the alpha, the arcane first, these older cold foils. However, I'm hearing reports now of seasoned collectors and new collectors wanting to get the high chase cards in the newest sets. Things like EA Shelter of the Storm, like Rosetta Thorn from Rosetta, and then these Arachnes, the Marvels are starting to become desirable to older collectors, and so this is great news for the game. However, there's also a lack of sellers right now. The Flesh and Blood has this weird stigma amongst game stores that stores can't make money in it, or there's not enough players in their area that want to fuel the game. This is causing stores to be more sealed focused and less singles focused. And so as stores sell more of their sealed boxes, they're selling less single cards and they're willing to buy less cards from their players. And this is causing a shortage of singles as well. So it's kind of this double effect that's happening right now with the increase of player growth, increase of players wanting to build more decks, but also a decrease of sellers having access to singles or having product. Now, last weekend I was vending the Battle Hardened in Charlotte, my hometown. We had 176 players for the event, which was a crazy turnout. And I was trying to keep track of my sales, my buys for the weekend. And there's one thing that I noticed. I sold a ton of cards. I sold more cards at the Battle Hardened in Charlotte than I have at most of the callings that I've been to. And these callings have been getting 400 or 500 players. However, I bought a lot less cards here than I did at other events. I bought probably 10% of the cards that I sold over the weekend. This was not indicative of previous events at all. Usually at events I end up buying or trading for more cards than I do selling, but at this event I sold a lot more cards. Also this week I put up a public buy post on Discord and Facebook. I was offering 75-80% cash for staples for some Flesh and Blood cards, and I got very few people reach out to me about wanting to sell at those rates. And those rates are higher than I've seen anyone post publicly in a while for Flesh and Blood cards. Also, looking at the market, I'm seeing very, very few people sell out of games, out of the Flesh and Blood game. I usually see people post their collections for sale, post huge card lots for sale, and I'm just not seeing that. And so that's another thing that is driving up card prices, is that the players who have the cards aren't selling right now. And the people who are wanting to buy cards are buying more than the sellers can pump out supply to the market. And so that's what's currently causing an increase in card prices. And you know what? People are still paying these higher prices for these cards. I mean, I was at the Battle Hardened this past weekend, and people are happy to pay, well, maybe not happy, but they are paying $60 for Felling of the Crown, $60 for Plow Unders. I mean, Chain of Lightning Valleys went up to 40. Current Funnels are up to 50. Dawn of Flashes are up to 50. Rosetta is very hot right now. Hunted Singles, the staples are going up. The Marvels are starting to go up in price. Shelter from the Storm is staying flat, which is crazy because usually when you have a high demand Majestic or Legendary from a new set, it starts to go down in price. After a month or two of being released, Shelter is staying at $70, and the supply doesn't look like it's going to be coming to the market more than the buyers are wanting to buy the card. And so the market's hot. The market's hot. Lots of players are into the game. Also, I'm hearing reports of stores running out of boxes. A lot of local game stores don't have any more boxes of the past couple sets for sale. They're not able to run drafts or sealed, and so less singles are coming to the market that way. And from what I'm hearing, their distributors are telling them that it might be a little bit before they can get boxes back in stock, or that boxes are released to the market. So I don't know what's going on with that. But I'm just hearing that stores are running out of products, so players are finding a hard time even finding sealed boxes. At Star City Games convention in Charlotte this past weekend, there were about 4 or 5 vendors that were doing Flesh and Blood. I was the only Flesh and Blood only table, and even then there was also like 20 vendors for other games, Magic, Arcana, Star Wars, and none of the vendors had Hunted in stock. None of the vendors had Rosetta in stock. I had a few older boxes in stock, Monarch and Heavy Hitters and Bright Lights, but not Rosetta, not Hunted. So that's another thing causing prices to go up. People are realizing that LSS is doing a much better job of managing their print runs. They're not overprinting like they have done in the past, and singles prices and box prices are staying high, where stores can actually make some money on the game for once. And so that's another thing that's causing these prices to go up. And we're in the middle of an event season right now. I mean, we just had Road to Nationals. We're about to have a skirmish season, and then we have a ProQuest season coming up soon. Before you know it, we'll be a national season. And so I don't think that this market is going to cool down any. I think that the market is going to stay hot. I'm hearing reports of people loving and wanting to go to skirmishes. Skirmishes are usually an event season that is often overlooked. However, with the unbanning of Crown of Seeds, there's a new meta in Blitz right now. LL is gaining in popularity, especially as people's favorite decks are starting to retire, and people are realizing that Living Legend is actually going to be a format that they can play regularly. And so I haven't seen this much demand for skirmishes in a while, and the pricing is good for skirmishes. Then you got another ProQuest season headed to Singapore. A lot of people are excited to go to Singapore. It's a great place for Fab, beautiful country, and so I think that this market's going to continue till at least the summer. In the U.S. at least after the national season, we might get a little bit of lull. We might get a little bit of retracement then, as people don't have any events in the U.S. From national season up until maybe the next set release in September. But I think for now the market's just going to stay hot. And so as we look forward to the next set, to High Seas, I'll be putting out a video later this week about last things to know before High Seas, about things to look forward to. We can continue to expect this hot market. So if you're waiting right now for singles prices to go down, if you're waiting for decks to become maybe more affordable, I think there's going to be a little bit longer of waiting. So I think the market's just going to keep going up. And so it might be worth it to just get your singles now. Lock your singles in if you're needing singles for ProQuest season or your local events. I think now's the best time to get them because we're not going to see a retracement or decline till after Nationals because there's just lots of events going on right now. And so, yeah, let me know how the market's doing in your area. How's your local store? I wanted to do a follow-up about armory events, gym packs. How's your local armory events going? Have you seen an increase of players since the gym packs were introduced? And are players excited to keep playing the game? Are they excited for skirmish season? Are they excited for ProQuest season and Nationals coming up this summer. Alright guys, I'll be back later with a high seas update. Until then, thanks for watching.